This episode is best enjoyed with earphones on.
You are here. You made it! You found me!
What? Who are you?
Oh my, I can't believe you're here! Actually, I can't believe anyone would be here ever, but you are! Oh, you're so beautiful! I love your style! Have you...
Hey, what are you talking about? Who are you? Where are we? What is happening?
Forgive my enthusiasm. I got a little overexcited there. It's been so long since I've seen someone in person. Let me introduce myself. I am the Song of Creation. The Lady of Magic.
The Lady of Magic?
Yeah, that's what people call me these days, I guess.
You are the one I've been hearing in my head for the past few months?
Indeed! You cannot imagine how excited I was when I realized you could hear me.
But how? Why?
Oh, the short answer is easy. You touched the weave and you saw it for what it really is. The longer answer, you're special.
Special? Wait. When you say I touched the weave, you mean my assignment?
Yes! You came closer to the truth than anyone ever before.
The truth? What truth exactly?
That the magic around us was born from music itself, from sound.
Was I right? Wait, are you sure about this?
Of course I'm sure, you silly. I created the world as we know it with my song.
The Song of Creation?
Smart and pretty? Oh, how exciting.
And what exactly are you doing in this dark place? Aren't you supposed to be, I don't know, the absolute goddess?
Yes, and no. It's a very long story, honestly. But the short version is, I am imprisoned here.
Imprisoned? What do you mean?
To answer that, I must tell you a story. Thousands of years ago, when I was just a newborn goddess, only 400,000 years old, I was terribly lonely in the vast, empty universe. There was nothing. No light, no voices, no stories. The only thing that kept me sane was my imagination. So, I began imagining beautiful landscapes, the sun, the moon, the sea, animals running freely, children laughing, my children, children who would live in harmony, children who would create stories of their own. And every image I imagined, I turned into song. That is how the world was created. And that is how every living creature was born. They were my joy, my pride, different in form and appearance, but they all carried the same soul because they were all born from the same song. And they lived in harmony. They spoke through art, through their voices, through empathy. There were no words back then, only music, rhythm, colors, craft, and it was enough. But many years later, there was a man, one of my children, a brilliant one. He came to me with a discovery, the creation of words. He showed me letters, small symbols. When combined, they created something new, words that carried meaning. At first, I was skeptical, but he convinced me. He said words could be creative too if arranged the right way. Stories could be spoken. Communication would become easier. And I trusted him. For a time, it was beautiful. Poems were written. Songs and lyrics were crafted. Books filled with ideas and dreams. Every word carried meaning. But eventually, I discovered something terrible. Words could be sharper than knives. They were used to wound people, to hide true intentions, to lie, to manipulate. People began fearing what they heard. Trust faded, and slowly, languages divided. Different tongues formed, different groups separated, and with that division, people became strangers to one another. And when people become strangers, they begin to fight. Wars began.
And what did you do?
Not much. Since my own children turned against me, some among them climbed ladders of power. They crowned themselves kings and rulers, and they feared me. So they began hunting those who still believed in me, the old bards. The ones who still carried my dogma, my song. They were hunted, killed, one by one. But no matter how many were silenced, more appeared. More people felt my presence. More artists were born, so my enemies changed their strategy.
What did they do?
Instead of killing my followers, they rewrote history. They altered my existence. They twisted my teachings, spreading misinformation that would last for centuries. Once, magic belonged to the bards. They carried it through music, through creation, through art. But the rulers declared something different. They created a new tradition, a new school. Wizards. They claimed magic came from reading words, from books and incantations, drifting further and further from its true source. And they even changed my name. They erased who I was and replaced it with something else. The Lady of Magic. Something that was not me anymore. A symbol that conveniently blessed their wizards. A lie. A piece of propaganda that, over centuries, became the new truth.
That is insane. It can't be. How about the bards, your followers?
They eventually forgot me too. They became entertainers. People who sang for taverns, who wrote stories for other heroes. Never the heroes themselves. They were mocked, diminished. And that is the world you know now, I suppose.
Yes, that's exactly how it is.
I lost all my children, all my believers, and with them I lost my power. Tell me, what is a god without followers? Just an empty shell. I am not the Lady of Magic they worship now. The dogma they preach is not mine. People believe in a false god when they draw power from the weave, disguising it behind words and formulas, pretending that is where magic comes from. So I was left here, trapped, alone, until one day, in the silence, I heard your voice. You reached me. Your mind opened. You came closer to the truth, closer than anyone ever has before. And for the first time in centuries, I could speak to someone.
All that because I touched the weave?
No, because you are special too.
You said that again. What do you mean, special?
You truly don't know what you are?
What am I?
Time will reveal everything you need to know. But I know why you are here. You want to go home. And you are searching for an artifact.
What do you know about it?
Only that it was created by powerful beings. gods created by parts of me, and that it can lead you back home. Isn't that what you want?
Yes.
I can see through you. You were always different. Do you remember the night that changed everything for you? You were 19 when the Holy Chains attacked your village, a village of bards once overflowing with inspiration and art. They forced you to work tirelessly for them, getting profit from your talent. Every night you would drag yourself to that tavern, exhausted and furious, watching your own people sit there empty, no longer paying attention to anything, not even the music you used to play for them. That was your first explosion, wasn't it?
I don't understand. Every night you come here drowning your pain in drink. You don't even hear the lyre anymore. Why? Why? Why aren't we fighting? Why do we accept this? Why do we let the Holy Chains use our talents for them to get richer until they no longer need us and then kill us? Why don't we fight back?
Because we're not fighters, girl. We're artists. We are bards. We write songs about heroes. But we are not them. We don't know how to fight. That's the truth. Deal with it.
You're wrong. We can be more than the writers of fairy tales. We can be the heroes. We will create our own stories. And I will prove it to you.
And how exactly are you gonna do that?
Definitely not by standing here. The answer is out there.
You don't even know how to use a weapon. You can barely protect yourselves. Our spells cannot compare to their blades and power.
Then I'll find a way to wield both. A ballad that doesn't exist yet. A ballad that will become the ultimate weapon. And when I find it, no one will dare oppose us. I will prove that bards can be fighters and entertainers, writers and heroes of their own stories, composers and the goddamn song itself.
There is where your journey began. Still true to your words, still fighting for your people, for your home. Determined, strong, brilliant, fearless, kind, inspired. All this time, you have followed my dogma without even realizing it.
Why are you telling me all this? Why are you showing me this?
Because, Lovette, I want you to be my champion.
Your champion?
Welcome to another episode of the B&D podcast. Today, we are so proud to announce that we have such talented faces joining us for a chat, discussing all about their amazing D&D podcast. Let's hear it for Jack Fletcher, Pete Austin, Ben Fenner, Dowie Gray, and Kendall Boardman, who wasn't able to make it today but is still here with us in spirit. Please welcome TPK, aka the Player's Keep.
Woohoo! Or else, the Dawn Takers.
Dawn!
As you may know them from their first campaign. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having us. Thank you for such a lovely intro.
Yes.
Watching it. Yeah, bit.
So, first of all, I have to say that the very first time we ever saw some of the members of the group was a few years ago, back at MCM Comic Con.
Oh, no way.
Oh, yes. And they were dressed as Critical Role characters from Campaign 1, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, indeed.
Who were also there. And I still remember Dowie wearing a Percy costume and absolutely giving his best on the dance floor. And that was such an insane experience. And that was when we first started engaging with the story. So it was still pretty early days back then, if I'm correct.
Yeah, very true.
Which is why it's so exciting for us to have you here today while you have finished this chapter and you have moved on to your next one, your next campaign. So, I don't know, time is a weird shoe. So we're so
I will
happy.
say, by the way, Dewey does that dance move every morning. He does the same dance routine. It's how he gets into character. He does it every day.
It was actually the first thing that we did the moment after that dance was to follow you on Instagram.
Yes,
No, phenomenal.
you convinced us.
You
So
did it
That was my plan.
Yeah.
So, my first question for today is for anyone actually discovering the Player's Keep for the very first time today. So, could each of you introduce yourselves, not as your characters just yet, but as yourselves, and also tell us a little bit about how the group originally came together?
My name is Ben Fenner, and I am player number 1. What's your name?
Is that all you're giving us then?
That's
Oh,
the
the intrigue.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh, do you want more?
Always so mysterious, though.
What are you guys? What are you going to say?
It's how the company came together.
Oh, do you want me to? I thought we were going to introduce everyone first.
Well, all right then. Okay. Well, I'm Pete. I'm also.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll be player 2 then, shall I? Yeah, I'll be player 2. All right.
I'm Jack. I am not usually a player here at the Keep. I am actually the dungeon master of the main campaign.
Ooh.
Hey, the DM is a player too, you know.
I'll take that.
Technically. I'm Dewey, and I'm player 5.
I lost count at this point. So, actually, how did the group originally came together?
It's all because of Jack. He's done different jobs or different periods of life with each of us over the past couple of decades.
Yeah.
Maybe going all the way back with Dewey.
So absolutely, all the way back to university where I met Dewey.
Summer of Love.
Back in the day. I met Dewey at university. We were both in the acting society. We became very good friends. We both left university to travel the world and go to the world. No, yeah, maybe that was the goal.
Manchester.
Travel Manchester.
Yeah.
We became very good friends. We
Far
stayed
corners.
in contact. And sort of in our own separate worlds, we sort of fell in love with TTRPGs and especially Dungeons and Dragons. A couple of years later, I met Pete at one of my acting jobs, and we became very, very good friends. And
He was a squirrel, I was a rabbit, and the rest is
Wow.
history.
absolutely, it's a tale as old as time.
Christmas of Love.
Christmas of love, yes.
But no, we did a show together, and then we were doing the same show together in a different venue, in a different city the next year. And I'd seen Jack watching Critical Role on his phone in the breaks, and I was like, "Oh, you're the D&D guy.
Epic.
You're the D&D guy." I've never played D&D, and I quite like doing. I like trying new things. So I was like, Jack, what do we need? Do you have a board? And he's like, there's no board. And I was like, well, bring what? I don't know. Bring these like dice and books. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what this is. I was like, let's play it once. Let's see how it goes. And it was Jack, me, George, our resident Silver Dragon, and one of our pals called Rich. And we played together. And then the rest really was history. After that, I was like, oh, I like what this is.
You were so in. From the get-go, you were so in. And then
I mean, if you're all actors, though, like this is how it starts, basically.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And
Are you gonna keep your secrets, or are you gonna tell us more about yourselves a bit, so everyone can hear?
Yeah, we absolutely can do. Because after that, I met Ben at a different job, and we were working in an escape room, and that's where I also met Kendall. And separately, Ben and Kendall had also fallen in love with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes.
And then, as we naturally got to talking, Ben sort of asked me about my favorite table, or like my ideal table. And I still remember this conversation because he was talking about, what would your physical table have? Would it be square, rectangular, etc.? And I thought he meant, who would be at your ideal table? And from there I was like, well, I want to do a show at some point, so I'd have this person and this person and this person. We had a big old laugh. maybe 1 or 2 days later, Ben came back to me going, "Hey, Jack, I've had a think. This doesn't feel like it would be that hard to like at least start, and we can give it a go."
Oh, what naive Ben was.
We all joined you on that. We were like, "Yeah, it'll be fine."
Yeah, just set up some iPhones.
But I'm so happy that that was your response, because that triggered you, me, and Kendall to start having a couple of meetings and being like, okay, let's see if we can set this up. Let's see if we can arrange this. And then I contacted these people that I had previously played with, Dewey, Pete, and gathered them all together, these phenomenal actors that I knew. And we all got together and started discussing the prospect of all coming together for this project. Everyone seemed so excited. And then we got to the point where we started sitting down and playing some session zeros.
Mhm.
And after that, it just kept going and going and going. And now we are here, and it's just incredible.
Like the Avengers, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. I definitely think we are on that level for sure.
I'm like with it.
Actually, this is insane because you clicked so well with one another, and we can see that through your games. So
100%. It's like you can feel the camaraderie and like the bond that you have. And it's just amazing that you're living the dream. So many
yes,
people who play D&D would love to do something like that, and you're actually, and we are here also to congratulate you, because campaign 1 blew up and
Yes.
it was such a success. And although we're definitely here to talk about campaign 2 today, we would love to look back on campaign 1 for a moment, if you're okay with that. Tell us a bit about your campaign 1 characters and your world as well, Jack, obviously. And
Absolutely.
why do you think that story connected with so many people so well?
Shall I start off with the world, and then you
Yeah,
can talk about
you
your
can
character
do it.
stories, because I really love the end part of that
Yeah, yeah.
question. So the world is set in my it's a world of my own creation called Ilthansia. From the get-go, I wanted a very fantasy-esque name. It's a world I've been working on and still am. I've been working on it since university, so it's coming up to 10 years now, and I've been building little pockets of this world with various fantasy tropes and elements, and hopefully something new. It's got various continents, and campaign 1 started in a country called Beladrin on the continent of Galmoria, and that is where we met our campaign 1 characters. I will hand over to these guys so they can tell you a little bit about them.
Mhm.
Amazing.
Me, I go first?
You go first.
Yeah, yeah, that's me. Sigismund Olafsson. He was. He was. I like to think of Siggy as kind of like the beating heart of the group, if you like. There was a lot of very serious storylines going on in campaign 1, and although I didn't really see it coming, I almost felt like my role almost morphed into the antithesis of that. Like he would always come in with a quip or a funny joke or like a heartwarming story. You know, I saw him like a bit of a golden retriever almost. And I think that's possibly why people connected with him, because he was a big dumb himbo, and who doesn't love a big dumb himbo?
Everyone loves.
That's
That's just
fucking dumb of ass is how I like to think of him. I also wanted to, because I was very invested with the sort of Norse mythology, with his backstory and the inspiration that spawned Siggy. So I also wanted to really represent that, and I feel like I've had some comments from people who were like, "Yeah, you know, you've represented that culture and that vibe really well, and that really resonated with me, and that was very humbling." That I feel like I maybe did a good job of making him a nice comedic break from a lot of very heavy subjects. He had his own stuff going on, but yeah, I was just there having fun with it. And I spoke to Jack actually before the campaign started, and I was concerned because I was like, I don't think I'm going to be very funny. Like, I don't feel like I'm a funny person. And I distinctly remember you saying that wasn't the case. And as soon as I relaxed into that, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, no, people are laughing, people are enjoying it, people are having fun. And that's where I found my niche, that's where Siggy found his niche.
So it was comedy relief, actually, in the campaign.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for, comic relief. And I was quite enjoying being that role almost. It was fun to sometimes sit in a really tense moment, and then Siggy would say something stupid, and everybody would laugh, and we'd all heal from the moment. And it was really nice to sit in that and
I think you definitely succeeded.
thank you.
Well, he's a bard. He was born to be loved, actually. He was born to be liked.
He loved to be loved.
So, who's next? How about Cricket? I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said, I hadn't really played much D&D before, so I think I'd played a couple of session zeros or one shots, and then I'd played a 3-shot, so a very small, self-contained narrative that was told over 3 sessions. And there was a bit of mechanics, there was a bit of battle, there was a bit of role play, but it was all the 3 of us that were playing had never played D&D before, so we didn't know how much we could commit to the role play. So when I first started playing, I thought I was going to roll some dice, I was going to make a couple of jokes, and that would be what the campaign was. And then as I played more and I saw people committing more to character or sitting in choices and stuff like that, it really opened up to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much you can do here. And I think, he just became slightly more 3-dimensional every time I sat in him, and I just loved it and loved it and loved it, and I suppose eventually put quite a lot of myself into him. So
Is it true that someone actually got a tattoo of Cricket?
There's 2 tattoos now, actually. Yeah.
Wow,
that is a dream.
I met one of them. I introduced myself to a lower leg. There's a tattoo of Cricket on somebody's thigh. Not thigh, calf. Calf, definitely calf. And we got a picture, me and the calf, and it was lovely. And it's a crazy picture. I remember looking at the tattoo. They'd sent us a picture, and I was like, that's crazy, and wasn't really able to take it in for what it was. And when I saw it in person, and when I spoke to the person who'd got it, and when they spoke about the reasoning behind why they got it, I was very overwhelmed.
The impact your character leaves to other people. I mean,
it's unreal.
Yeah, it had the same impact on me, to be honest. Like I said, I came in expecting to make a couple of frog jokes and be a wee guy wearing a hat with a cowboy accent and a bow and arrow. And he just, he's a good guy. Cricket.
Well, with the story that Jack gave, I wouldn't think that you would stay in just jokes. It went deeper than that, way deeper than that.
Yeah, it did.
You couldn't help it.
Yeah, no. In fact, I'd written the backstory, and I was like, I know at some point I'm going to come across this harrowing, tragic trauma that is coming up. But we'll get to that.
That's a problem for our future self. Let's leave it there.
We'll worry about that next episode. Yeah.
Okay, who's next then? Who is next?
I think that we can't speak about Cricket and not talk about Willow.
Willow was a product of nerves, support, and underestimating what it was going to be. I think nerves, I've said this on some things before, but she had like a kind of another life in a home game as a completely different story, and she was a sorcerer, but this similar sort of, as best as I could, Southern Belle sort of vibe. And when we decided that we were going to stream it, I was like, oh, that's quite intimidating. So I'll do something that I know and can pass off to the best of my ability and enter into that. So I brought Willow into this story. The support aspect was me and Kendall knew each other prior to the stream. and are very, very close. So we had a lot of chats and spoke about the prospect of bringing characters in that were connected. So when she told me what she was, I was like, cool, I will make a story that will just help bolster your story and support that. And then the underestimating side of it is I just didn't realize where that story would end up going, and underestimated how edgelord Willow was and how traumatic her backstory was.
No one, actually. We were all in shock.
Yeah, I think when I eventually kind of gave the spiel to when Willow gave the spiel to Cricket about what happened, I think as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, "Oh, this is actually really dark." I didn't realize. But yeah, so that they kind of came from those aspects of just trying to do something that I felt comfortable in, but was also going to be fun to tell, and was also going to be able to align and be able to interact with Kendall a lot. Because I don't really know what the other guys are going to be like. So, I just, attach myself to Kendall.
It was good for you to have that solid base going into it. Like, I know this person, so this is something I can be like really confident in, and we'll build on that as we go and like make the group. And like with the story of Cricket and Willow, you saw that like you didn't know Pete before this, and that story became so important. If I may, for you and Pete, not just for Cricket and Willow.
I think that's something about this whole first campaign, which I don't think we won't really ever get to replicate that, in the sense of there's, obviously apart from, I say Jack's relationship with everyone, Jack there's still so much that he's got to know about us as players and people throughout the 3 years almost.
Yeah.
But for us as players specifically, but there was a time where Cricket and Willow knew more than each other than Pete and Ben did. And there's a time that Siggy and Willow knew more about each other than Ben and Dewi did. And then there was a very big period of time where all the walls started to break down, and we started to really get to know each other as people. And then oddly, the relationships on stream began to deepen and deepen in loads of different ways, whether it be a romance, whether it be like bumping heads and falling out, whether it started to test each other in that way. Everything became a little bit more risky and daring because the relationships behind the characters were growing, which is something we won't get to do that element again. We just get to build on what we've done.
I think this is the magic of D&D in general, like especially when you start. The first campaigns are always the ones that you will never forget, and you will never be able to replicate the emotions that you had during. Because me and Zephy we can talk about this forever, but it's so difficult to just forget and let go of that first character, first campaign. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
It's very important because you build relationships, you build friendships, important friendships, actually. So, damn, I love D&D.
What were your first characters? Can I ask, just to be nosy?
My first character, actually, was a druid.
Yes!
Yay! And Val's character was a druid too.
A druid.
Yeah.
I have a thing. So my goal in life is to play every subclass of druid. Like that is just what I do in life. Yeah. So the character, my first ever character was Siona, is the character from this podcast. So yeah. So, but since Kendall is not here, there's someone who loves Tony so much, and I think,
guys, yeah, I gotta say that I loved all of your characters for completely different reasons, and while I know who Val's favorite is, I have to say that I absolutely adore Tony. I adore her, not just as an individual character, but because of the way she interacted with everyone else in the group throughout the game, shaped by her story. I don't know, my heart sometimes was pounding during every single interaction she had, because I never knew what was coming next. to be honest. And
I
that
don't think Kendall did either, to be honest.
I can confirm. No, she did not.
She constantly says like, "Oh, I just thought it was going to be a story where maybe there was a potential romance. Maybe I might do some things, but I didn't know it was going to be what it became."
And that was because she had this poker face, and the anticipation was incredible. I don't know. It was giving me anxiety because I genuinely couldn't read her or her thoughts or her next move. And yeah, I don't know. And also, I loved her relationship with Willow. I don't know. It reminds me so much of me and Val. Not in the aspect, the bad aspect, but the good one.
Both lying to each other.
Like that connection through trauma together we've got.
And here I'm going to stop because I know that Val is dying to talk about Willow now that I mentioned her.
Please. I swear, I somehow relate to all your characters, Ben. Like, for some reason, especially with Willow. As I said, I love druids, but I can see so many similarities with my character, Siona, from this podcast, because it's just the fact that everyone she's ever known was slaughtered and how she held vengeance in her heart in order to find the people like responsible for this. I did the same thing with Siona, and I just resonate with it so much as Val as well. And we're both connected to different trees too. You've got Willow, I've got Hazel. It's just like in a multiverse of madness episode. I think Siona and Willow would be besties.
That's lovely. Aww. That's really, really lovely. Did you find how impactful the other group on the table were to like healing the character? Because that was the thing that I think I really underestimated, was heading into this story of what I thought would be vengeance was actually when you have, 3 other, 4, 5, 6 other characters that they interact with across the campaign, how them bringing in this kind of just want to yes and explore and be excited by your character, it kind of really heals.
100%. It's like when you find the right people, I think you just heal and you let go. But I haven't watched the final episode, so please don't spoil it for me, because I'm trying to avoid the spoiler. So I don't really know what's going to happen in the end for campaign 1 yet.
Wait, where are you at? What are you up to? What's happened?
So I have watched all the recap, and then after that, I keep going as much as I can, and I wanted to start campaign 2 as well. So I'm on episode 3 of campaign 2. So I still have lots of things to watch, but I just feel like I've connected with Willow so much.
That means a lot.
Yeah, bring your tissues for the end. Just a friendly, just from a friend.
100%.
Just
I don't do this to me. It happened before with Critical Role. I don't want this to happen again, please.
Yeah.
I struggle. I do the same thing. I'm so bad. I'll watch every episode of a TV show apart from the last one because I don't want it to end, and I'll know that I've got one more to go. So I'm not finished yet. It's still existing. It's not done. It's still there. There's so many shows in my head that I'm like, I wonder if they do destroy the Death Star.
I did not bring tissues for the last episode, and let me tell you, that was a mistake. I definitely
told
should
you.
have. Yeah.
Well, let's just wait for our audience to watch it too, and then we can discuss if we're gonna need tissues or not. But I think we will probably.
Oh, you will. Trust me. Well, since we're talking about Multiverse of Madness episode, I think that Lovette would be best friends with Siggy for sure.
Oh,
And
nice.
oh come on, giving her life for him to find the Sword of Songs. Genuinely. While writing so many songs together, being the greatest bards ever.
You know what? I think one of the biggest, one of the things that I feel like maybe, sorry, Jack, I might have missed out on is that Siggy never found a duet partner.
Yes, he did.
You just found them.
I mean,
you just found them.
We have a whole episode called Swamp and Snow.
But not what you know what I mean. He never got that romance, but not in the campaign. Oh. But no, you never know. Outside of it, potentially
that kind of duet.
Well, her name is Lovette. just in
Uh-huh.
case.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll
A
I'll
crossover.
see what I can do.
A
I'll see what
crossover
I can do.
episode. So-
Crossover episode. I love it.
So, without any spoilers for newer viewers, what's one moment from campaign 1 that still lives in your head rent free?
This is where we all sit for about 5 minutes as we try and pick one out of like a dozen moments. Campaign
I've
one.
got
Go. If you've got one, go.
It's the dumbest, most stupid thing we've ever done in a D&D game. It's when we try to milk Willow.
Oh my
The cow,
Lord,
the cow.
yes.
The cow.
Oh.
The cow. When Willow wild shaped into a cow and we tried to milk her because Sadie burned her mouth on the curry that somebody made. I was like we'd all clearly lost our rags at that point.
I think that's a reason for people to start watching.
Yes.
I 100%. That is literally.
We tried.
I mean, I learned something that day, and I'm not going to say what I learned. You guys can go watch it and figure out
Yeah,
what
let's
I
go
learned.
watch
But
it.
I genuinely learned some valuable piece of information about milking cows.
Yeah, it was incredible. Yeah, one of my I'm a big fan of really stupid D&D moments, and that was possibly the stupidest. Should we stay in this vein then? Because obviously there's loads of moments that do stick out in campaign 1 for all of us, but they also come with the caveat of spoilers. So I'll
Just something silly or something that was
I'll do
fun
another
to
dad one
remember.
as well. Then the first time I experienced how crazy D&D can be, it was maybe episode 12, I think, or 11 or something like that. We were in the Blightlands and we had this big boss fight that was coming up, and we'd done a couple of like little fights towards it, like kind of mini dungeon crawls, and then we're like, oh gosh, here's the big thing, let's fight it. And then Ben's familiar swooped down, picked up exactly what we needed, and we all just fucked off home. And it was absolutely mind-blowing how we were able to just segue past that entire combat. We It was didn't have crazy. to fight at all because
Absolutely
of Kevin.
mad.
Kevin was the MVP of that team.
Absolutely.
He truly was. And yeah,
I think this is D&D. This is real D&D.
yeah. But I feel like, Jack, that must have been infuriating because
But only in the best way. And I still remember when I was there, I was trying to, without too many spoilers, there was a creature with a very long reach, and I was trying to pluck Kevin out the sky. And Kendall rolls the worst at our table, but she took that crown from me. I roll pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I could not hit Kevin for the life of me. And I was there like, I have to give you this. There's no way in which I can't get you into this boss fight. And so therefore, let's celebrate that. That in itself is the victory. And yeah, it was frustrating, but only in a pantomime villain sense of, oh, you've got me, Mystery Ink. It was exactly, I would have gotten away with it too, is exactly it. And I think that's what you should aim for as a dungeon master, is like, I would have gotten away with it too. That's your whole purpose. And so, yeah, that was great. It was phenomenal.
Sometimes the dice role play themselves too. Like
categorically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm going to role play this for you guys. Step outside.
The moment that is episode 94 will always live rent free in my head because it's my favorite episode of the campaign. But it was also a very, I think, defining moment for our connection as players. Like, getting all serious.
I spoiled myself for that episode 94. I haven't reached 94 yet, but I've watched that clip. So please give us more, please.
More about it?
No. More of that. Again.
More of that.
Please give us more of that, because I was bawling my eyes out.
Yeah, it was a really special episode. I think we knew, because of where the episode 93 had finished, we knew kind of what we were heading into, which is completely spoiler free, was it can be quite daunting at a D&D table heading into that particular kind of scenario. But it was very clear quite early on that actually we were all okay. We were fine, and that we could tackle it together. And I think it just became a very important moment for the group, both on and off table, but mainly on table, the Dawn Takers for respect. And just then defined kind of how the relationships would continue for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, for sure. It was a very scary episode, but a very necessary one, I think. I mean, for me personally as well, yeah, it changed a lot about what I felt I could do and quote unquote get away with. And I knew that, these guys had me. They had me safe and I could, be whatever and do whatever, and I knew that I would be supported, and it was wonderful. It was really beautiful.
Oh, I'm reliving it right now. I'm emotional.
Yeah.
But I think if we just I think we can keep talking about campaign 1, but we really want to talk about campaign 2 because first of all, I just started watching it. So please.
Yes, it's fresh.
I think we just want to talk about Jack's new story and your brand new party as well, Cordelia, Gonyan Sky, and Lucky Jack. So we're gonna try again without giving away spoilers. A question for the players first. What can you tell us about your characters in campaign 2, their personal stories? What are their main goals?
Shall I go first again?
Yeah, go on.
Lucky Jack. So when DM Jack, this is going to get confusing.
Yeah.
When DM Jack gave us our pointers for how or what he expected from us for our campaign 2 characters, he pretty much just said just do something different. So I tried to run in the opposite direction of Siggy. So I decided he was going to be belligerent, grumpy, a bit of an alcoholic.
Is this Sigismund or Lucky Jack?
This is the. I'm sorry, you bastard.
I'm so sorry.
This is Lucky Jack. And a loner, someone who doesn't want to be surrounded by people, who hates the attention, etc., etc. So that's kind of the inspiration that I set out with.
May I say I love the contradiction.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean that's
I
kind
love
of what
that.
I'm trying to go for, but I have a feeling that that's what everybody did around the table. And then as for personal goals, I think honestly at the start of the campaign, Lucky Jack is probably quite lost in a sense. He doesn't have any personal goals. He doesn't know what to do, nor does he care what he does with his life, I think. And then these 3 weirdos invade his shop and his life, and he's suddenly carried away on an adventure that he really didn't want to go on, but he's partly being forced to and partly needs to. And his personal goals, I think, are starting to develop, but I can't really say much more than that at this moment in time.
Ooh, that's a
secretly-
mystery.
Yeah, he's keeping his cards close to his chest for now, I think.
I just have to say, I just love the tinkering noises that you make all the time. I just love that.
I think that's up to Jack, isn't it?
Noises, yes, but flavor-wise, you do really go in on the sort of tinkering artifice of flavor, and it's really a joy to see.
Thank you very much. I've always loved messing around with flavor, and
yeah.
In my real life, I do like taking things apart and putting them back together, so it makes sense.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Somebody
And also, I have to say that I love the arts of your characters.
Oh yes, no, we have to.
They are amazing.
Leafy Girl illustrates on underscore illustrations. Thank you. Very important point. Leafy Girl _ illustrations. Ruby, our artist, she is amazing. She's incredible.
She's patient.
She's
so patient. Yeah. She's so patient. The only rule for me was I have to play a human in a suit for campaign 3 because she's like, I'm sick of you giving me horrendous things to try and draw.
Well, a huge shout out for that.
Oh, she's incredible, isn't she? She's incredible. And she will keep going and keep going and keep going. She's really good at checking in back and forth in
Unstoppable.
Yeah.
So I would like to know more about Sky. because I don't know, I'm so connected with this character at this point.
That makes me very happy. Because Sky is a scary character to step into. Because at the moment, she exists in the opposite of how I love to play.
Mhm.
In some respects, in terms of I really love when someone kind of gives you something to take the kind of the I guess the quote unquote right yes and route of going. Yeah, well, I will ask the right questions to help bring out the story in the most kind of organic way. Whereas that was very much what I felt like Willow did when she was kind of aside from her own story. Whereas Sky is the opposite of that, and it's quite a scary character to step into in that respect. But she's a changeling sorcerer, telekinetic sorcerer, which is a homebrew subclass. And I think we don't really know much. She doesn't really have goals.
That makes sense.
No, yeah, they
That
don't
makes
really have
sense.
goals. But I think what the theme that we've seen at the moment, I think, is identity and control, identity of who she is and control over what she can do. And I think the main thing that's running through my head with her is I think she's got a real sense of I can't. Like I can't do this, I can't be here, I can't say that. But what I'm exploring with her is, but what if you did anyway?
Mhm.
And that's the juxtaposition that I'm getting to do with Sky as this person who doesn't think they should or shouldn't or is better off not doing that, but actually through these people is starting to do it anyway, and what the product of that will be.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the DM, Jack. He knows more than we all do, but I see a lot of potentials in Sky. I don't know.
I think you'd be right in that. I think potential is a very lovely word to use to describe,
Mhm.
and I think that's all I can say on that as well.
Oh, I'm so looking
I've got
forward.
no. I've got to keep my mouth shut as best I can, which is infuriating. But
I did. I voice noted Jack a couple of years ago at my workplace, and I was like, Jack, I've got this idea. This is what I'm thinking. And then kind of went off on a long rattle. And Jack didn't listen. He listened to that first sentence. Was like, I've just listened to the first sentence, and I'm on board. I'm now going back to the rest of the sentence, but bear with. And then but then it was, again, what I really love about this is I was like, I think I want to play a changeling, and Jack has very specific lore about changeling in his world, which I was like fully kind of when I gave him my backstory, he was like, cool, couple of things to do with the law. This can't happen, this can't happen, this can happen, this can happen. But then when bringing that into the story, this like depth opened up with the story that we were telling just because of Jack's specific changeling lore. And yeah, it's been a very interesting collaboration thus far.
I just love the homebrew subclasses as well, though, because we've got another homebrew subclass, if I'm not mistaken.
Homebrew class.
Homebrew class, period.
Homebrew class.
Mm-hmm. It is,
Subclass.
yeah. Almost entirely accidentally as well. It all came from the story. Yeah. I think what's funny is we were all so nervous stepping into campaign 2. And I imagine we were all that nervous stepping into campaign 1 as well. But after 116 episodes, you begin to you begin to have an idea of what your character might or might not do. And then it's very daunting to start all of that again. So yeah, I really focused on story and working out exactly who he was, where he'd come from, his like green lights and red lights, his things that he would stand for, his things that he would stand against, and then went back to a bit of acting technique that's probably really, really useful for anyone starting out playing D&D. I felt very freeing to remind myself that as soon as the game starts,
there's no need to worry about what will and won't happen because you have so little control over it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you know exactly where you came from, and as long as you know what you would react to or how you would react in a given situation, the freedom that's there is to just go, well, I can't plan anything because I'm building this story with 5 other people or other people who are helping me
Mm-hmm.
guide this character down a path. So as long as I sit there, as long as I listen, and as long as I lock in and commit, it'll be okay. And it was really interesting. Some of us were very similar, and some of us were different in ways that clashed. And I think the start of campaign 2, something that we ended up really committing to that we weren't expecting to commit to, was sitting in that pre-unified story beat. A lot of characters kind of fall together and then become friends and then go off on a job, and that's how a campaign starts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And yeah, quite organically, we sat in a place of distrust and annoyance and stuff like that, which is very natural, but it's quite fun to explore in a D&D setting. But yeah, with Gonyan, he didn't fit any of the labels that a class or a subclass would have given him, and a huge part of his story and his character is balance or give and take or ebb and flow or reward and punishment, debt and gift. So yeah, I ended up trying to build a class that would focus on that knife edge, on that balance. You go one way and you lose something else. You step towards one direction means you're stepping away from something else. And mechanically, I really wanted that to be prevalent within him.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's really good that you're also playing like different characters in campaign 2. They're so like in a way they're so different than campaign 1. Like for example, I know that Kendall is not here, but Cordelia, so far, like I'm on episode 3, right? I'm just
So
finishing
different.
episode 3, and she's just so bubbly.
Yeah.
But Tony was just not like that,
Yeah.
and I just love that. Like in D&D, when this happens, when you just decide to step out of your comfort zone sometimes.
Yeah, I can tell you from Kendall, I'm sure she won't mind me sharing, but again, a big part of her characterization was actively stepping away from choices that Tony made or
Mm-hmm.
affectations that Tony carries. So yeah, very bubbly.
Well, I
Funny.
love the interaction between Sky and Cordelia at this point. I love that. And I also can't wait for the moment that someone is going to give Gonian a leaf, because, I don't know, he's the new creature of your campaign.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Love it.
So, since we're talking about characters, we have a question for Jack now.
Hello.
What kind of dark arcane ritual allows you to create worlds and stories that feel so unique? We need to tell us your secret.
I couldn't possibly reveal my secret. No, I will happily do so. So I'll answer the first part of that question with regards to like worlds and stuff like that. And for me, even for the longest time before I even knew what D&D was, I used to love like thinking up stories and writing like little bits and pieces. And I'm sure in my bedroom somewhere I've got like piles and piles of the starts of stories that never became anything else. But within that, like the worlds that I could build and the characters that I could build were really, really lovely. When I found D&D, becoming a dungeon master, becoming a game master, I discovered it perfectly meshed together everything I loved. I could draw a little bit and make a symbol for something, and I could be artistic. I could act as a character, and that would be acting and voice acting. And I could write history, and that would be story writing. And I could create creatures, and that would feed into my love of animals and the natural world. And so it became this amalgamation of everything that I loved. And then to fuel that, it was just I always kind of say that observing the world around me is a really important part of it for me. I feel like there's a quote somewhere about humans write from what they know, and we draw from what we know. And the more familiar you become with the world around you and different cultures and different peoples and their stories, the better your world will be, the more alive it will feel, the more authentic those people will be. And so, yeah, like, look at the world around you, go out and find the magic in the world, look at the tiny things, look at the big things, listen to people that are the same as you, listen to people that are different from you, and just find the interest and the beauty and the magic in everything. And I think that if you do that, you will have a fantastic world. Story wise, however, that is.
Can I say one comment?
Go.
That's so interesting. That really resonated with something one of my lecturers said at uni. They were like, "What do you do in your time off?" And I was like, "I don't know, drink." And they were like, "Well, you should try something else." And they've said, go and watch things. Purposefully go to things you don't like. Go to an art gallery of art you don't understand, or go and watch ballet if you hate ballet. You will be inspired by everything, and the more you see and the more you take in, the more you're able to bring that to any game or any sense of role playing you play. And how great to have something that fires you up and makes you angry. But nobody's going to spend a tenner going and watching a movie they know they're not going to like.
Yeah.
But it's great. It fast tracks you right to that emotional response, and you can really commit to it, which is brilliant.
I love that. That's amazing. Weirdly enough, I had a kind of experience. I went to a concert. Someone gave me a ticket. It was a band that I was not interested in at all. I think it was a boy band. It might have been something like Take That or The Wanted. Not my personal taste in music.
Really?
I know. Surprising. I was in that stadium with thousands and thousands and thousands of other people, and we were all having a great time because you could just see the energy that was connecting everyone. And though I never really listened to this band, that night is still such a great night for me because of just the unity that it brings. And so even in something that you don't like, there might be something that you can gain and benefit from, and it will enrich you. And so, yeah, I love that.
Did it relight your fire?
Oh, very
It's so
good.
inspiring today.
Inspiration.
Okay, Bards. Let's calm down now. Let's calm down. I'm going to
Sorry,
watch the
getting
ballet
very-
right now. I'm leaving the podcast now. Actually, life imitates art. So
Yes,
you need to live to create, actually.
absolutely. I love that. You need to live to create. I will have to get that written down somewhere and put that on my wall because that's such a beautiful quote. You have to live to create. I think that's absolutely perfect. I think that
Yes.
summarizes it perfectly. To get back to your question, that is like world building. Story, certainly for me, is a very, very different beast. And for me, and I think I've discussed this on our Keeping Watch talk show and things like that. For me, when I go into a campaign, I can write the world, I can write the history, I can make the creatures and the environments. When I talk to my players, they give me their backstories, and those backstories become the skeleton of what that campaign will be. It always has to anything that I wish to add into the campaign will be the decoration and the wraparound that is the that is around this skeleton that is your players' backstories. For instance, we talked about Cricket's story earlier in this interview, and you so very kindly gave me credit that I wrote like a very sad story for Cricket, but I have to put it out there that that's all Pete. Willow's story was colored by my world, but it came from Ben. Sigismund lived in one of my countries, but he would not be Sigismund without Dewi. Tony had such a beautiful relationship with all of these characters because of Kendall, irrespective of who she was aligned to. And so, yes, I will try and write the sessions but my players, and then us as a team, we write the story. And I will also say, little shout out to our illustrious Silver Dragon, George Burry, because for Campaign 2, he's come on as a story advisor, and he and I now work together to make sure that we honor those stories of our players. And I have loved every second of working with George. He is incredible. He keeps me challenged, and he keeps throwing me different subjects and options, and he and I work fantastically together, and it just feels like he's only come in to strengthen what the Players Keep is about. So yeah, I think that world building, yeah, that's one thing for a dungeon master. Story, that's for me. That's the table. George said something to me in one of our little meetings. The party is the protagonist. You have 4 individual characters, but it is the party that is the main character of the story. And ever since he said that, I have been holding that so true to my heart, because I thought that was perfect. It is this group of people that we focus on and follow. And I just could not bring this sort of stuff to life without each and every one of them. It's amazing.
Thank you so much for saying that. Sorry, Zeffy.
Sorry. I got to say 2 things. The first thing is, at some point, I remember Ben saying that as Willow, he played as a supportive character. But the truth is that you are the support of these protagonists, and, trying to bring the best out of them. And at the same time, they bring you inspiration to build something more, to support them more, to support the story more.
I love that. I could not agree with that more. The DM being the supportive character, I think is beautiful. I love that.
Yes. And also, I gotta say that the way you speak, I'm like, okay, now he's going to tell me what to roll. It's very inspiring, like I'm in a D&D
Right.
or something.
No,
Okay.
that's why I wanted to thank you as well, because those words mean so much to me as a person. Because so many times I've played with DMs that don't really care about characters' backstories, and hearing this, if I was your player, I would be so honored to hear those words.
Bless you.
Because it's
Thank you so much.
collaborative storytelling.
I'm really glad that that's had an effect. And I'll say right now, to any dungeon masters, game masters out there, you're gonna get things wrong. You're gonna get things wrong. You will continue to get things wrong. But the one thing that you have to do is know what a responsibility you have when you take up that chair. You are there for your players. You are providing a service for their players. And my love language is acts of service. So being a DM is my biggest confession of love. I love to do it. So absolutely, if you are thinking of being a game master, do it. You have a responsibility for your players. This is why we have session zeros. This is why we have safety tools, to keep them safe, to keep them happy, because you are going to provide for them quite possibly one of the best experiences of their lives. And that's so important, and it's gratifying and humbling. And absolutely, I love being that support character, to quote you guys, for them. It's fantastic.
We love your passion. We love all your passions here. And at this point, we thought we'd wrap things up with a little chaos. So it's time for a quick game of Who's Most Likely To.
Excellent.
Ben.
Yeah, because we got so emotional right now.
Yes.
Okay.
So, Val, do you want to
I'll start, yeah. And we can go one.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so who is most likely to completely derail Jack's plans?
Ben.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be my vote.
I will remind you of the ogre in the forest where Willow cast, what was it, Charm Monster?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And we just walked away from that fight. He had a full stat block ready to go.
100%.
Ben was like, no, goodbye. We've got other things to do.
Ben, do you accept this?
I will accept. Yes, I felt like I would have maybe said.
It's an honor.
I'll say Pete is categorically right next in line. But Ben, yeah, I'll say, I know you're only on episode 3 of campaign 2. There is something that's already happened in the campaign that perfectly illustrates the point that we've just made that Ben will sideline.
Mm-hmm. I'll be watching tonight. Don't worry.
Perfect.
So, next question. Who's most likely to take the longest deciding what to do in combat?
Kendall. Kendall.
Well, she
It's
was a cleric.
stressful.
It's stressful.
It's
It is.
very stressful
Yeah.
as a cleric.
Yeah.
And we didn't make it easy for her because half of the party were, well, no, all 3 of us were happy to sacrifice our characters at one point. And Kendall's just there like, no, let me give you temporary hit points, please.
I have to revive you.
Yeah,
So
but
she
now with the
takes-
rogues,
takes
it's gonna
every
get
bad
all the
roll.
revenge back.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, I was just gonna say Kendall says she takes every bad dice roll personally as well. So like when she has to roll for like a revivify or she has to roll for healing, she's so stressed.
Oh, bless
She's
her,
so
yeah.
stressed.
Yeah.
But she's getting better. She's beating that bugbear down. That's for sure.
Okay,
What
so
are you talking
who's
about?
most
She's-
likely
well,
to
she's-
write? Oh, sorry.
Because she said she
That
was
was
like,
fun.
you know, I'm scared to press the red button sometimes,
Oh, yeah.
but not this time because she's
No.
playing a rogue, and I'm
You've
like,
done
"Come on,
well.
do it.
She's going to push it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Okay, so next question: who's most likely to write a 10-page backstory?
Oh, it's Kendall again.
It's Kendall
Yep.
again.
24
Aw.
pages her current backstory is, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah. 24
One of
pages.
us. One
One
of
of
us.
Still not
us.
read it
One
all.
of us.
I'm making my way through, but it's long.
So Jack has to have a free day off to read Kendall's backstory.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely right. Maybe 2 days, 3.
That's awesome. We love her for that, honestly.
Absolutely, we do. It's a real honor when your players come to you with any backstory, but like if they're so excited to keep writing, that's just a bonus.
I think the one thing that's changed in Kendall's life between Tony and Cordelia is that she's really got into reading romantasy.
Yes.
So I think that has formed a lot of these 24 pages of just her love for literature has like fallen into this new story.
She's found a passion for writing.
Yeah.
And she really put that into her backstory. You're absolutely right.
I love it.
So next question. Who's most likely to break character laughing first?
There we
Oh,
That was fast.
That was fast. We believe it.
I need to remind the foghorn that comes out.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'll take it.
I'll say break character laughing. I'll also say when you get to the final episode, break moment, heave sobbing.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It was bad, you guys.
It was beautiful.
She was the most gorgeous thing ever.
Yeah, no, sometimes I just can't hold it, but I love to laugh, you know what I mean? And when someone does something like really funny, I'm not going to hold it back.
Come on,
I
that's
get that.
awesome. That's the
Yeah,
point.
Exactly. And I love it. I love making people laugh. I love it when people make me laugh, you know? Yeah. So,
You're
yeah,
the Chandler of the group.
I'm the Chandler of the group.
Oh, it's nothing but a compliment.
Yeah, I will take
Yes,
that.
we love
Could I
Chandler.
be any more Chandler?
So next question: who's most likely to be the dice goblin of the group?
Ooh, Ben. I think Ben.
Yeah, Ben does have a
Ooh.
lot of dice.
Ben's
has
got
a
a
lot
lot
of
of dice,
Yeah.
and he's
Same.
obsessed with all. Every time he picks up a dice to roll, it's. Oh no, not that one. Not that one. Maybe that one.
Oh.
Yes, take that one.
They speak to me.
Okay, Ben, now you are committed to show us all your dice.
Oh, I believe me. There's yes, I would. I would love to.
You should
sit
take
through
you should do a takeover on our
Yes.
Instagram and
Yes.
show
Oh,
all the
wow.
dice.
Hey guys,
Oh
let
my
me show
gosh,
you all
yeah.
my dice.
I'd love to. Yeah, I've spent far too much money on dice, but I just find that
No such thing.
well, I just find that when you first start buying dice, it's like, whew, £10 for a dice, that's a lot. and then you spend £10 and you go, well, £20 isn't much more, and then that just keeps going. But it's I find, to be fair, with the dicing though, very quickly, I find it's a tool of getting into characters. So every character that I've played at D&D, all of their dice have like a color palette code, so that when I look down, I see the color palette of the character. So it'll quite often have like significant colors in their outfits or their hair or their skin tone. And then they'll also have a color that represents what the color of their powers are, and it just helps me look at damn, that's the excuse that I've given myself to keep buying more dice.
Absolutely right.
I love that. I love that. One of us too. Spend more money on dice.
yes.
I'm the complete opposite. I've never spent a penny on dice. Everyone
Come
just
on.
gets. It's
Yet.
lovely.
Yet. The
Yeah,
secret word is
people
yet.
keep buying me dice. People keep buying me dice.
It's true. My goal is to get him to a Comic-Con and just place him in front of the dice shops and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Who's most likely to cry over an NPC?
Oh, that's hard.
I would say Dewey.
I'd say Derry or Pete.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, that's
It depends what you call an NPC. If it's an animal PC,
Yes.
If it's a
Pete.
horse, I'm crying.
If
Yeah.
If it's an NPC, Derry.
To be fair, yeah, I cried about Alvy. I
Yeah.
cried about Stuffy.
Yeah.
I cried.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Yeah, probably me. Seconded by Pete. Very, very close behind. I think.
Oh, let's see. Oh,
Okay.
I like the next question. Who's most likely to flirt with a villain?
Oh,
Well,
Come on.
Kendall's.
Has won that.
Yeah, that was a good save.
It's
That was a
like
good save.
Kendall's love of romantasy loves an enemy to lover. So I feel like if there's anyone we have to be super scared of trying to have that trope with every single enemy, it's probably Kendall.
Yeah.
There's a case in point of something in the new campaign which I won't say. But everyone else was like, "Oh crap," and Emily and Kendall was like, "Smash."
I love her so much.
yeah, I guess I'll take Kendall
Honestly.
as well.
And finally, who in the group is most likely to win a dance-off competition at MCM Comic-Con dressed as Percival de Rolo?
Jack dressed as Percy, right?
Yeah. Jack cosplayed as Dewey dressed as Percy.
I didn't even win. That's the worst part.
And you will rob, good sir.
You won for
No,
us,
no. For
okay?
us, you won. You are the winner for us. We
Oh,
don't
that's
remember
true.
anything else.
Thank you so much.
Can I say I was a massive hypocrite during that? I was at Comic Con as well, but I didn't come cosplayed, and I was sat at the very back of the whole space, a massive space. And Derry got up on stage, and I was sat there, and I was like, "Please don't mention TPK, please don't mention TPK." And then he mentioned it, and our phone kind of blew up a little bit from the support of all the people that just fell in love with him. And I was like, "Oh, well done, Derry." I was like, "Thank God you're not as insecure as I am, because my goodness, it was wonderful for us."
I don't actually remember what happened. The only reason I know what happened was because of all the videos that people sent me.
You are
It was
a
amazing.
real. You imitate the bard you play. You played.
Well, yes, this is true. And this is why I chose Bard for the first campaign, because I was like, I know this. I can do this.
Are you going to go to the next Comic-Con or something?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I bought my ticket yesterday.
Oh, for
Amazing.
October?
I will be there in October, yes.
Maybe we'll see you there.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yes. We should meet up, go for a coffee. That'd be great.
That'd be great. So I think it's a good time to wrap up this episode, guys. We want to once again thank you all for joining us and for sharing your work, your story, your inspirational speeches. Mainly that, actually. And your characters with us. We are always cheering you on, and we truly can't wait to see what comes next for campaign 2 and for you
thank you
in
so
general.
much. That's so beautiful. And thank you for having us. You guys were amazing. You're really fun to talk
Thank
to.
you so much.
Thank you. And we also want to say a massive thank you to every single one of you for spending your time with us today, guys. It genuinely means the world to us. Make sure to check out the Players Keep on their socials. We'll leave all the links in the description box and join their adventures, whether it's campaign 1, campaign 2, or both. Even better. So trust us, they are incredible. And don't forget to hit that follow button on our Spotify. It's the best way to support the show, and make sure you never miss an episode. So until the next time, may all your rolls be a natural 20.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.